from any busy trade routes. He was used to being alone, fixing broken ships that drifted into his station by chance. His job was simple: repair, collect payment, and wait for the next customer. Suddenly, his radar beeped. A strange object was entering the system fast. Jack leaned forward, eyes narrowing. The object wasn't just passing by, it was crashing. Jack grabbed his scanner. Unidentified small craft. Engines offline. Crash landing. The scanner's voice confirmed his concern. Without wasting a moment, Jack rushed outside. His small hover vehicle carried him across the rocky surface toward the crash site. A cloud of smoke rose into the sky where the ship had hit the ground. As he got closer, Jack saw the ship a sleek, silver design unlike anything he had seen before. Definitely not human. Jack approached carefully. The side of the ship was dented, and sparks flew from broken panels. He knocked on the side, hoping someone inside was still alive. A hatch hissed open. Jack stepped back. Inside, he saw her. An alien woman slowly crawled out, her body weak. Her skin was pale blue with a soft purplish tone that seemed to shimmer under the light. She had long silver hair that floated slightly in the air, and her small, elf-like ears twitched gently. She wore a strange but elegant dress, colored in deep teal, decorated with glowing lines that pulsed softly. Her eyes locked onto Jack's. They were large, bright, and filled with both fear and confusion. "Are you hurt?" Jack asked gently, raising his hands to show he meant no harm. The alien woman blinked, breathing heavily. Her voice was soft but firm. I require assistance. My ship was attacked." Jack nodded. "You're safe now. Can you walk?" She tried to stand but stumbled. Jack caught her carefully. Even in her weak state, she was light and graceful. "Easy. Let me help you." As he supported her, Jack noticed her strange markings, small, glowing symbols on her arms, like delicate tattoos. She was different from any alien species he had heard about. Whoever she was, she didn't belong in this part of the galaxy. The war was finally over. The High Council's rule had ended, and peace began to spread across the Zalari Empire. Queen Valera stood tall, not as a prisoner, but as a true leader chosen by her people. Beside her stood Ryan, the human soldier who had changed everything. The galaxy watched in surprise. Many had believed the war would never end. But the courage of two individuals had brought hope. At a grand ceremony in the rebuilt palace, Valera was officially crowned as the rightful queen. The people cheered for her and for the peace she promised to bring. Ryan was honored as a hero by both the humans and the Zalari. His bravery and willingness to trust the queen had made a difference. After the ceremony, Valera invited Ryan to a quiet garden inside the palace. The air smelled of fresh flowers, and soft light filtered through the leaves. She looked at him with gratitude. "You saved me, and you saved my people. I cannot thank you enough," Ryan smiled. "You saved yourself. You chose to fight for peace. I only helped." Valera's eyes softened. "Without you, I might have never had the chance." They sat together, sharing stories of their pasts and hopes for the future. Though they came from different worlds, they had found a deep connection, built on trust, respect, and a shared dream of peace. Ryan knew his time with the Zalari was ending. Soon he would return to his own people, but a part of him would always remain with the queen and her empire. Valera stood, placing a hand gently on Ryan's shoulder. "You will always be welcome here. Our worlds are connected now." Ryan nodded. "And I will always stand for peace, no matter where I am." As they parted, both knew this was not an end but a new beginning. The war had shown the darkness in their worlds, but it had also shown the light, the power of courage, friendship, and hope. Together, they had changed the fate of two civilizations, and the galaxy was ready to listen. He gently guided her onto his hover vehicle. "We'll get you back to my workshop. I'll check your injuries, and then I'll see what I can do about your ship." The alien woman looked at him with surprise. "You are human?" Jack smiled. "Yes, and you?" She paused. "I am Princess Alara of the Zinthari Empire." Jack's eyes widened. He had heard stories of the Zinthari, an empire of powerful and advanced beings, but he never thought he would meet one of them, let alone a princess, back at the workshop. Jack laid Alara gently on a medical bed and activated his simple healing scanner. It wasn't advanced, but it worked well enough. The scanner hummed as it scanned her body. Nothing broken, just exhaustion and minor burns, Jack said softly. You'll be okay, Alara studied him. Why are you helping me, human? Jack chuckled. Because you need help. That's what we humans do, Alara looked puzzled. In my world, kindness is rare from strangers, Jack shrugged. Well, out here, we take care of each other. Besides, you crashed right into my backyard. It wouldn't be very polite to. Leave you lying there, Alara gave a small, weak smile. Then I thank you, Jack. You're welcome, princess. He checked her vitals one more time before turning to his tools. Now, let's take a look at your ship. Jack spent the next few hours examining the damaged craft. Its design was far more advanced than anything human engineers had. He marveled at the strange technology, taking careful notes and photos for later study. But most of all, he focused on one thing, getting it flying again. Meanwhile, Alara rested but watched him closely. She was fascinated by how easily Jack adapted to her technology. Humans were known to be clever, but seeing it firsthand was different. You seem skilled, Alara said softly. Jack glanced back and smiled. Well, I fixed a lot of broken ships. Yours is a bit more complicated, but I'll manage. As the hours passed, an unexpected warmth grew between them. Neither spoke about it, but both could feel it, an unspoken connection that neither fully understood, but far above. In the dark space around the planet, something else watched silently. A tiny drone hovered, recording every move they made, sending its data far across the galaxy to those who were already searching for the missing. Princess Jack had no idea that helping this mysterious alien woman would soon pull him into a much bigger story, one that would change his life forever. The next morning, sunlight spilled softly through the windows of Jack's small workshop. Outside, the strange alien ship rested on landing pads Jack had built long ago. Its sleek silver hull still showed the marks of the crash, but Jack was ready to begin repairs. Alara sat quietly on a nearby chair, still weak but eager to help. She watched Jack carefully as he unpacked his tools. Your tools are simple, she said, her voice curious. How can you fix such an advanced ship with these? Jack smiled. Sometimes simple tools and a clear mind are enough. It's not always about having the most advanced machines. It's about knowing how to use what you have. Alara nodded slowly. In my empire, we rely heavily on machines that think for us. Humans must rely on their minds. That's right, Jack said as he opened the ship's damaged panel. Humans are good at adapting. We learn quickly and think outside the box. That's how we survive. He bent down to examine the ship's engine core. Strange energy pulses flickered inside the console, far different from human technology. Jack touched wires and screens carefully. Some of this tech is new to me, he admitted, but I like a good challenge. Alara's eyes brightened. You are clever. Your mind works in ways I did not expect, Jack laughed softly. I guess humans have surprises. As Jack worked, Alara asked questions about his world. She was fascinated by human life, how simple yet full of spirit it seemed. Jack told her stories about Earth, its people, and their dreams. It sounds like your people have strength in their hearts, Alara said thoughtfully. That is rare in my empire. Power and control rule many, Jack nodded. Humans are not perfect. We fight and make mistakes. But we also help each other and stand up for what is right. Alara looked down, silent for a moment. Then she said, I envy that. My life is full of duty and rules. Freedom feels like a distant dream. Jack paused his work. Maybe that's why you came here, to find something more. She looked at him with surprise. How do you know? Jack smiled gently. Sometimes you don't need to say it out loud. I can see it in your eyes. Alara smiled back, a rare warmth in her expression. Meanwhile, unknown to both, a small drone hovered silently above the workshop, hidden behind the station's roof. It sent live images to the Zinthri Empire's command center. The officials there watched closely, trying to decide what to do next. Back inside, Jack struggled with a complicated part of the ship's power system. The alien technology was delicate, unlike anything human engineers had created. He carefully disconnected a damaged circuit and replaced it with one he made from parts he salvaged from older ships. Alara leaned closer. "You make parts yourself?" "That is impressive." Jack wiped sweat from his brow. We don't always get new parts easily." Alara's respect grew. Humans are truly resourceful. Hours passed and the repair work slowly progressed. The hum of machines and soft conversations filled the workshop. As the sun set, Jack stepped back from the ship and smiled. "It's not perfect yet, but the engine will start." Alara's eyes shone with hope. "Thank you, Jack. You have done more than I imagined." Jack looked at her. "You're welcome. I want you to get home safely." Alara hesitated. "Home. That word is strange now." "I'm not sure where I belong," Jack thought about her words. "Maybe home is not just a place. Maybe it's where you find people who care." Alara smiled again, touched by his kindness. That night, Jack stayed awake, thinking about the princess and the strange future ahead. He knew helping her was more than just a job. Something had changed inside him. He wondered what his life would become once the Empire found her, and what his role would be in the story that was about to unfold. The next morning, Jack woke to the soft hum of the workshop's machines. Outside, the sky was a deep blue, but a quiet tension filled the air. Alara was awake, sitting near the window. She looked out at the stars but did not speak. Jack could see the worry in her eyes. He walked over and sat beside her. "What's wrong?" he asked gently. Alara sighed. "My people are searching for me. The Zinthri Empire will send soldiers to bring me back." Jack frowned. "That sounds serious. Are they coming here?" Alara nodded. "Yes, soon. They believe I was taken against my will." Jack's mind raced. He didn't want trouble. "We need a plan." Alara stood and paced slowly. "If they find you with me, they may think you kidnapped me. You could be in danger." Jack's heart beat faster. "I'm just an engineer. I don't want to fight an empire." Alara looked at him, her eyes soft but firm. "You helped me when no one else would. I will protect you." Jack smiled, feeling a strange warmth. "Then let's make sure they don't find us easily." He checked his communications equipment. "I can try to block their signals for a while." Alara nodded. "Good, but it will not last long." For hours they prepared. Jack worked on reinforcing the workshop's defenses and finding hiding spots. Alara studied the ship's systems, hoping to finish repairs before the soldiers arrived. As they worked, their bond grew stronger. They shared stories of their lives and dreams. Alara told Jack about her royal duties, the pressure to marry for, politics to keep peace between worlds. She spoke of loneliness behind the crown's shine. Jack listened quietly. "You deserve more than a title. You deserve happiness," Alara smiled sadly. "Maybe with you I can find it." Suddenly, alarms blared. Red lights flashed across the station. Jack grabbed a nearby control panel. "They're here." Outside, powerful ships descended. Zinthri soldiers in sleek armor landed quickly, their faces serious and eyes searching. The leader, a tall officer with sharp features, entered the workshop. "Where is Princess Alara?" he demanded. Alara stepped forward, calm and proud. "I am here." The officer's eyes widened. "You were not authorized to leave the Empire." Alara raised her chin. "I chose to leave? I am no longer just a princess. I want to choose my own path." The soldiers exchanged glances. The leader frowned. "You will come with us." Alara shook her head. "No, I will stay here." Jack stood beside her. "She is not alone." The soldiers looked at Jack with suspicion. "You are a human. Why do you protect her?" Jack met their gaze firmly. "Because she trusted me. Because I believe in freedom." The leader's face hardened. "You will regret this." But Alara held her ground. "If you want me, you must face me." The soldiers hesitated. This was not the usual royal defiance they expected. Alara continued, "I am more than a title. I am a person with choices." The leader signaled his men to hold back. "We will report this. You will answer to the council." Inside the fortress, the council leaders gathered, confident in their power. They believed the queen was still under their control, and that the humans would never dare attack their stronghold. Suddenly, alarms blared. The final battle had begun. Ryan's team burst from the tunnels, weapons ready. They fought fiercely, using their training in the element of surprise. The council's soldiers were caught off guard, but they quickly regrouped to defend their leaders. Meanwhile, Valera confronted the council in the command chamber. Her voice was strong and clear as she challenged their rule. "You have ruled with fear and lies," she said. "I am the true queen. It is time for peace." The council laughed, mocking her words. But Valera was not afraid. A fierce fight broke out between Valera and the council's strongest guards. She used her skills and determination to overcome them one by one. Her courage inspired her followers, who fought harder to win the battle. Outside, Ryan led the soldiers to disable the fortress weapons. They faced heavy resistance but pushed through with teamwork and bravery. Slowly, the council's forces began to fall. The tide of the battle turned at last. Valera stood before the council leader, the one who had kept her imprisoned for so long. With one final strike, she ended his reign. The remaining soldiers surrendered. The war was over. Ryan and Valera stood together as peace spread through the fortress. Their alliance had won against all odds. The war was finally over. The High Council's rule had ended, and peace began to spread across the Zalari Empire. Queen Valera stood tall, not as a prisoner, but as a true leader chosen by her people. Beside her stood Ryan, the human soldier who had changed everything. The galaxy watched in surprise. Many had believed the war would never end. But the courage of two individuals had brought hope. At a grand ceremony in the rebuilt palace, Valera was officially crowned as the rightful queen. The people cheered for her and for the peace she promised to bring. Ryan was honored as a hero by both the humans and the Zalari. His bravery and willingness to trust the queen had made a difference. After the ceremony, Valera invited Ryan to a quiet garden inside the palace. The air smelled of fresh flowers, and soft light filtered through the leaves. She looked at him with gratitude. "You saved me, and you saved my people." "I cannot thank you enough," Ryan smiled. "You saved yourself. You chose to fight for peace. I only helped." Valera's eyes softened. "Without you, I might have never had the chance." They sat together, sharing stories of their pasts and hopes for the future. Though they came from different worlds, they had found a deep connection, built on trust, respect, and a shared dream of peace. Ryan knew his time with the Zalari was ending. Soon he would return to his own people. But a part of him would always remain with the queen and her empire. Valera stood, placing a hand gently on Ryan's shoulder. "You will always be welcome here. Our worlds are connected now." Ryan nodded. "And I will always stand for peace, no matter where I am." As they parted, both knew this was not an end but a new beginning. The war had shown the darkness in their worlds, but it had also shown the light, the power of courage, friendship, and hope together. They had changed the fate of two civilizations, and the galaxy was ready to listen. Alara nodded. "I am ready." Jack looked at her, pride swelling in his chest. Together, they stood as more than just human and alien. They were two souls fighting for freedom. After the Zinthari soldiers left, silence returned to the workshop. The tension that filled the room slowly faded, but Jack and Alara both felt its weight. They had faced the Empire's wrath together, and something had changed. Alara sat on a worn-out chair, her hands resting on her knees. She looked at Jack. Her eyes filled with emotions she struggled to express. "I have never been free before," she said softly. "All my life, I lived under rules and expectations. I wore a mask for my people. But here, with you, I feel like I can be myself." Jack smiled gently. "I'm glad. You deserve that freedom." Alara's gaze dropped. "There is more I want to tell you, something I have never shared." Jack leaned forward, curious but patient. Alara took a deep breath. "As a princess, I was expected to marry a noble of the Empire. It was a choice made for me, not by me. I was afraid of losing who I was." Jack nodded. "That sounds hard." "It was. I felt trapped, like a bird in a cage. But when I crashed here, something inside me changed. You showed me kindness without judgment. You treated me as a person, not a title. Jack looked down, then back at her. I didn't know what to expect when I found you, but I felt something real. Alara smiled, a soft warmth in her eyes. I feel it too. Jack reached out and gently took her hand. You don't have to be alone anymore. For a moment, the world around them disappeared. Two different beings from different worlds, connected by something simple and true. Suddenly, the ship's systems beeped loudly. Jack jumped up. The ship! The repairs are done! Alara stood and moved toward the ship. She touched its smooth surface. Thank you, Jack. You have done more than fix a ship. You have fixed my hope. Jack watched as she prepared to leave. But then she turned back, hesitation in her eyes. Jack, I want to stay, here, with you. Jack's heart skipped a beat. Are you sure? The Empire will not give up easily? Alara nodded. I am sure. I want to choose my own path. And that path is with you, Jack smiled widely. Then we'll face whatever comes together. As they stood side by side, a new chapter began. Two souls from different worlds, ready to challenge fate. The calm in the workshop was broken by the loud sound of engines outside. Jack and Alara exchanged worried glances. More soldiers, Alara said softly. The stars were quiet that evening. Jack stood inside his small repair station, floating quietly at the edge of Sector 7G. Far away, Jack stepped to the door and looked outside. A fleet of Xinthari ships hovered above the station. The Imperial. Soldiers had come again, and this time they were not alone. The doors burst open. A group of armored soldiers entered, led by a stern officer with cold eyes. His gaze landed on Alara immediately. Princess Alara, the officer said in a sharp tone. You are ordered to return to the Empire at once. Alara stood tall, her voice steady. I am no longer bound by your orders. I choose to stay. The officer's eyes narrowed. You will come peacefully or force will be used. Jack stepped forward, his voice firm. She's with me now. If you want her, you'll have to go through me. The soldiers exchanged glances, surprised by Jack's bravery. The officer sneered. A human thinks he can challenge the Empire? Jack didn't back down. I'm not just any human. I'm someone who saved her life and earned her trust. The officer laughed coldly. Trust means nothing here. You will both come with us. Alara raised her hand, and a soft blue light spread from her palm. It was a sign of her royal power, a warning that she was not afraid. I am the princess, she said, but I am also free. You will not take me without my consent. The soldiers hesitated. The officer scowled. You are making a grave mistake. Suddenly, a voice echoed from the communication console. The Xinthari High Council was on the line. Princess Alara, the voice commanded. Return immediately. Your actions bring dishonor to the Empire. Alara replied calmly. I honor my people by choosing freedom. I will not return without. Jack, the council's voice softened slightly. If you wish to stay, your mate must prove his worth. He must pass the trial of the Empire. Jack looked at Alara, determination shining in his eyes. I accept the trial. The officer stared at Jack. You may regret this decision, human, Alara smiled. He will not fail. The soldiers left to prepare the trial, leaving Jack and Alara alone for a moment. Jack took her hand. No matter what happens, I'm with you. Alara squeezed his hand gently. Together we are stronger. The days passed quickly as Jack prepared for the trial set by the Xinthari Empire. The trial was not a battle of weapons, but a test of courage, intelligence, and loyalty, qualities the Empire valued in any mate of a princess. Alara stayed by Jack's side, offering quiet support. Remember, she said softly, this is not just about strength. It is about showing who you truly are. Jack nodded. I will do my best for you and for us. The trial began in a grand chamber aboard the Xinthari flagship. The walls glowed with ancient symbols, and the air was thick with expectation. Jack faced the council, a group of elder Xinthari leaders who watched him carefully. The first test was of intelligence. Jack was given a complex puzzle involving alien technology. At first, he hesitated, unsure how to approach it. But then he remembered the lessons from fixing Alara's ship. the importance of creativity and thinking outside the box. Slowly, he worked through the puzzle, combining pieces in new ways. The council watched, impressed by his quick learning and problem-solving. When the last piece clicked into place, a soft light filled the room. Jack had passed the first test. The second trial was courage. Jack was led into a dark chamber filled with strange creatures. Though they looked frightening, Jack kept calm. He remembered Alara's faith in him and moved carefully through the room, showing no fear. The creatures, sensing his calmness, did not attack. Instead, they watched him quietly as he passed. The council nodded approvingly. Jack had shown true courage. The final test was loyalty. The council presented Jack with a choice: return to Earth and forget Alara, or stay and face exile. From his world forever, Jack looked at the council, then at Alara waiting outside the chamber. His heart was steady. "I choose to stay," he said clearly. "Because my place is with her?" The council was silent. After a long moment, the leader spoke. "You have passed the trial." "Your loyalty is true," Alara smiled brightly as Jack emerged. "You did it." Jack grinned. "We did it together." The council bowed respectfully. "The Empire accepts your union. May you both bring honor and change." The great hall of the Zinthari flagship was filled with a quiet tension as Jack and Alara stood before the High Council. The air was thick with expectation, but Jack felt calm. He had faced every challenge with Alara by his side. Now he was ready for the final moment. The council leader stepped forward, his voice clear and strong. "Jack, you have passed the tests of intelligence, courage, and loyalty. But there is one last trial, the trial of the heart." Jack looked to Alara, whose eyes were filled with hope and trust. He took a deep breath. The trial of the heart was unlike the others. It was not about strength or skill, but about understanding, respect, and the bond between two souls. The council asked Jack to speak about what Alara meant to him, about his hopes for their future. Jack stepped forward and spoke with quiet confidence. "Alara is not just a princess. She is a person with dreams, fears, and a brave heart. She showed me that love and freedom are worth fighting for. I want to stand beside her, not because I am forced, but because I choose to." The council listened carefully. After a moment, the leader smiled. "You have shown the true meaning of the trial of the heart. Your bond is real and strong." Applause filled the hall as the council declared Jack and Alara officially mates. The Empire accepted their union, and many began to see humans in a new light, beings capable of courage, kindness, and love beyond their expectations. Back on the workshop station, Jack and Alara stood together looking out at the stars. Their journey had been difficult, but it was only the beginning. Alara turned to Jack and said, "Thank you for believing in me and for choosing me." Jack smiled warmly. "Thank you for showing me a world worth fighting for." Together they prepared to build a new life, a life where two worlds could come together in hope, love, and adventure. Their story was a new chapter in the galaxy's history, a story of trust, courage, and the power of choice.